WGPR Detroit HD2.
You're watching WHPS, Highland Park, Detroit. The views and opinions expressed on the following show are not necessarily the views and opinions of WHPS, its affiliates, management, or sponsors.
Hello, everybody. This is Donna Stinson. Thank you once again for joining me for Can We Talk About It, where we do talk about that elephant in the room. Last week, I was telling you guys about a PSA that I made concerning men being abused. I do have a couple of the actors that was on the show. A couple of them couldn't make it, and I have Miss Veronica Sims on the phone. I'll be talking with her in a minute. So I want to introduce Walter. His name is Walter Perry Lee, and he plays the father. And in a minute, I'm going to introduce you to Veronica. Are you there, Veronica? Are you there, Veronica? Are you there, Veronica? Veronica? Okay, so we're going to get back with Miss Veronica, but we're the PSA that we did is dealing with abuse of men, and it's a very, very touchy situation. Before we get into the PSA, I actually wanted Mr. Walter to just give his spin on how he felt, playing the character of an abused man. So Walter, I want you to tell, my guests, how did you feel, playing that role as an abused man?
I think it was something that I was so intrigued of this, that men never, of this character that really helped me overcome stuff like that I never heard of before, of seeing men getting abused. Because I know that sometimes they always kept it in silent, and when I got that part, it really blew me away.
Okay, so when it comes to you getting into character for this person, what did you have to do to get yourself in character, to play, an abused victim?
I learned, I got myself into this character because I want to know more about this, and that helped me overcome, because I know what's it like, because I could relate of this character, what he was going through, because he did not want to be abused by the woman he loves, but he did love her, but it kind of hurt to see men go through situations like that and never say anything about that as well.
So would it be too forward for me to ask, can you give us, a little bit of, you said that you can identify with that. Have you ever been in a relationship where you were abused?
In a way I did. I was used, and I've been hurt in a situation like that, and I know what's like, because like when I was young, I've been bullied at school half the time in Detroit and everywhere, and I I kind of know what's it like, and I wanted to go off but I couldn't learn to. I had to learn how to control my frustration, because I know what's it like being bullied, because I was hurt by people in the before, not only by as well with women in the past, because I've been in so many bad relationships that never worked out, because every woman I've been involved with, it's kind of like being abused, because I've been used and been hurt, and it's just like being abused. And then that's the reason why I got to the point I wanted to strike, go off at them, but I said no, because you cannot lay a hand on a woman, because only way you could do is just walk away and just learn from it, and then down in the long run, and then say something, because if you don't say anything, then you're gonna keep it silent and eat you up.
Yeah, so
And
I really do appreciate that, because we always talk about how there's shelters for women, how there's places for women that's battered and this, that, and the other, and we never talk about the men. And I want to know is, are you there, Veronica? Hello, are you there, Veronica? Are you there, Veronica? Well, we're having some technical difficulties with Veronica, but we're going to come back to her. So for now, I actually want to show you this clip, the PSA that me and Dominic Grayson, Walter Perry Lee, Veronica Sims, and our cameraman, Mike Johnson. He was supposed to be here. I wish you could have made it. Miss Veronica Sims, she would have been here, but my prayers go out to her. She was doing some laundry and she slipped and she ended up breaking her ankle. So I really feel bad that she had to go through that. But right now, I want to show you guys our PSA on men being abused.
Daddy, what you doing on the floor? Mama, why Daddy on the floor?
He been drinking again, tripping over stuff.
You been drinking. Why you drinking? Why you drinking?
your mother.
I got $50 in the room for you. In my room, go get it.
All right, Mama. Finna get ready to go.
Okay, I'm glad you came back.
All right, Dad.
You better go on and take that $50 I gave you before I take it back. Me and your daddy have something to do.
Yeah.
Go on.
Love y'all.
Love you too. Did you hear any music? Was it entertaining? It wasn't meant to be. Pay attention to your loved ones.
I hope you guys enjoyed that. Um, just me watching it while we were on set and we were doing this, it kind of brought back memories, the things that I've been through. But I really, feel for my brothers out here that can't speak up for themselves, or, that feel like there's nobody there for them. And we really do need to try and come together and get some type of, um, I'm not kind of sure how I'm trying to say this, but some type of housing, some type of shelter, some type of safe house for men that don't have anywhere to go. We have all of these avenues for our women, for our sisters, but none for our brothers. A lot of the brothers may feel that the reason why they shouldn't say anything is because they are men. And I myself believe, and I'm going to ask Walter how he felt about this, but I myself believe that a lot of men have actually committed suicide because of this very thing that we're talking about, and because they felt like they had no friends, no family, nowhere to go, and they had no, way of reaching out to anybody, because the women always will tell you, just because you're a man, nobody's going to believe you. So, Walter, I want to know, how do you feel about that? Was there times when you just felt like you just didn't want to be here anymore because of the things that you were going through, like with women, or did you just feel like, your life, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I just want you to tell me how you felt. Did you feel destitute? Did you feel like there was nobody to help you?
I feel like when I got abused, and then in my situation, every woman I've been with, it's always the same thing. That it's always like the blame game with tales of words. Like they blame good men, like even like myself, for something they have done, and then when you're trying to reason, they didn't want to. They always act like they didn't care or didn't want to listen. They always thinking like have someone in their corner taking their side, and then never hear the truth that even myself, I've been used and abused like by this woman I used to fall in love with at work, and that's why I got to the point when I saw her, I just kept my distance and walked away every time, and I think in the way that sometimes we men, when we get in a situation like that, it's best we should have our own shelter, our own avenue to go to in case we get in a situation like that. And I don't think that we need to keep silent and stay by and keep to yourself. You got to say something if you want to survive, because that's the only way you can get to it. And talk to someone you could trust, someone you could trust. You could talk if you have problems with anyone. Talk to someone at work or someone you like, a family member who you could trust and relate to.
So, another thing I wanted to ask you was, like, when you very first like got into a relationship, it wasn't like that the first time. I'm saying they were really nice, and and then all of a sudden it turned. Well, were there any red flags that you seen, and you just ignored them looking back?
When I look back, I could have said something, and I tried to say something, but it's like that every time her friends or people always took her side over mine, and they always name called me, and that got me like to the point I really noticed that, I did attempt to want to go after, but they told me not to, because if I do, I'm the one who could get in trouble for them, and the only way I could get back, and that's the only reason why I should have, when I look back, I should have walked away instantly and just quit and just move on.
So, like, can you give me an example, like, of a red flag? Did she ever, like, hit you in front of anybody and you didn't say nothing? Or when you were by yourself, did she ever hit you or shove you or push you and try to make it seem like, it was a joke? Or did she ever do anything like that?
In a way, she did. She twisted words around, and
So for you, it was more emotional. It wasn't a physical thing.
it wasn't a physical thing.
Okay.
And I thank God, because if she would have did, I probably would have been the one to land the first blow, and I would have done. And I did want to land the first blow, but if I have to, but if I do, I'm gonna make sure that I would make sure that this would never happen to anyone.
So how do you feel, now about, being in a relationship? How do you feel now about,
I feel now that I am careful, and I'm also noticing, because I could see through the body language of everything, because I look at the right in their face and in the body language, knowing that you're lying. I know when you're one of them, and then that's why I look at people differently. I don't just talk to them, or they always say, "What is your problem?" And I said, "Well, and every time I just look at people and just turn the other way. Like I said, I wouldn't even know. I just look at people different. I don't know them at all."
Yeah, well, yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, and that's a big thing, actually, for men and women that's been abused, that we really do have to be very vigilant with the people that we allow to come into our spaces. We need to be very vigilant and very, very observant with the way that we hope that we carry ourselves, because I'm not sure, but I know, and I'm just speaking as an abused person and not a man being abused, but sometimes once you become abused, your body language is different, and certain people, they can actually tell, because they're abusers, they can actually tell that you've been abused. And they come after you like that because they can tell that you may not have the confidence that you should have, or you may have the slouch, and you may be like a real timid person or a real quiet person. Then when a person gets you alone, they start asking you, about maybe past relationships, and you end up telling them about something that happened in your life, and bam, that's their foothold to get into your doorway to do things that they would never do to a person that wouldn't deal with anything like that. So I just want my brothers and sisters to be very aware that this is out here, and these type of things, they happen to men every day. So as us being a village, we need to be aware of other people's body language. You never know who you may be saving in this lifetime. We're always, and life is, is very stressful, and we go through so much, but we are helpers one of another, and we are here to help one another. So we need to look out for our brothers. To me, I feel like some of our brothers, that's been abused. I've said, things, and I've actually had a friend of mine that passed, which is very emotional for me, because he was in a relationship like that, and he didn't think anybody would believe him. But we have to be, looking back in retrospect, I felt like I could have helped him, even though, I was in the situation I was also in too. I really felt like I could help him. So we need to look out. We're a village, and we need to look out for men that's going through that. Some men, I believe one of the signs of, and correct me if I'm wrong, Walter, but I believe that one of the signs of a man being abused is when you see a woman downgrading on him, or denigrating him, or even hitting him. Is especially a man as big as Walter, they tend to nervously laugh it off. And I believe that that's a red flag to let others know that, or even a cry for help to let others know this person is abusing me and I don't know how to tell anybody. Or they may just be in love with the person and they feel like they can handle it. We did somewhat of a PSA Saturday dealing with men, and we were talking about how it's sad that women do this, and when men get embarrassed, just like women, they turn around and tell, they try to protect their abusers, and they're like, how did you get that bruise, and they'll say, well, I bumped into a door, I was playing football, or I was doing certain things, and
or my back hurts, but she was the one that hurt his
right
back.
But she was the one. So
right.
we have to like stop thinking about ourselves all the time. You know, it takes a village to raise a village. It takes a village to keep the village
It's going.
exactly, to keep the village going.
Right.
So if you can't be a part of
Someone's
the solution,
the situation.
you're
then
definitely a part of the problem. So when it comes to all of us, this is a problem that we all face. I'm quite sure there's people who know men that's been in relationships, and at first they thought it was funny, and how could this little person do this and this, that. You never know. Once a person gets your heart or gets your mind, and others are going through, you know, having mental issues, and that could very well be one of the reasons why they're having these mental issues. We need to be very vigilant, be very observant of the things that our brothers go through. You know, like I said before, I believe that, you know, not only do our brothers end up committing suicide because they may have been in abusive relationships, I believe a lot of our brothers end up going gay, turning homosexual, because they just can't deal with women being the way they are towards them. So they look for comfort places where they really shouldn't be looking for comfort at. Is just is sad, is sickening, is just, it just hurts my heart that all of this is going on, and there's no type of help for men, or no type of shelters where men can go and get this help. So Saturday, like I said, I did a PSA. You can check that out on my YouTube channel at Don Diva 63 at youtube.com. You can check that out on my Facebook at Stinson, Donna Stinson at Stinson 63. And I just want you guys to know that we need to start getting on our representatives. We need to start getting on these people that's in these high-ranking offices. We already know they don't care about us, but we have to push this thing. We need places for men to go where they can talk about the things that they go through, and they can talk about being abused. You know, we always talk about how, you know, men is the stronger sex, and they should be able to do this, and they you know, big boys don't cry. That's a lie.
They do cry.
Men cry just as well as women cry. But we have the stereotype, excuse me. We have the stereotype where we feel like, you know, they shouldn't cry.
Right. Just like the script I wrote called Men Cry for Help. And that's why men get used and abused too by women. And that's why I wrote that, so people could know, you know, that you got to know. You got to open your eyes and stop falling on deaf ears and blindside, and just say something. That's why, you know, all the stuff that I be writing is limited to based on what I went through. And I told guys, you know, hey, this happens to women who get abused, happen to men too. Because men, even myself, I've been used, I've been hurt and played. And that's the real reason why you got to stand up.
So another thing that I actually wanted to mention too is men, you have to start telling on these women. Some of these men are so in love with these women, and like I say, they feel like they can deal with it. And in the PSA that I did Saturday, I was actually saying, just like women, but men too, pick up the NA book. It's called Narcotics Anonymous. It's not just for drug addicts. It's for anybody that has an addiction. Some of us get involved in these horrible situations, and we become fascinatingly addicted to being hit, and then we end up playing the victim. I don't want to see anybody die at the hands of anybody who's just abusing them just because they can. Like I said, there's women who's been hurt, and then they get into a relationship with a good man, and they end up hurting that good man, because hurt people do hurt people. Like I said, I was in an abused relationship, a few of them, but I was just blessed enough I was blessed enough that because I had a higher power, and I knew, you know, higher power is innately in us to know what right from wrong. But some people, they get so caught up in pain to where they want to inflict pain on others. So that NA book is actually a good place to start, because the first step of that program is admitting that your lives have become unmanageable and you cannot do this by yourself. Just like these women in these shelters can't do it by themselves, you can't do it by yourselves either, guys. If there's one man that sees this program and gets help, I've done my job. I love my brothers and I want them to have the best, and I want you guys to have good mental, a good healthy mental capacity. It's not fair that men do this to women, and it's really not fair that women do this to men. So we have to come together as a unit. As I always say, we need to flow as a unit. When the village idiot or idiots start acting up, we need to pull them out the village and get them right. So until we come to the knowledge of what we mean to ourselves, and first and foremost, what God means to us. Because without having a higher power to guide you, and even just having some type of, that, I always talk about mentors. We all need a mentor. We all need somebody in our lives that we can go to, that we can talk to about the things that we're going on. Because if we don't, it could actually be to our detriment. So before we go, I want Walter, I want to give you like 30 seconds to let people know about your book again and about I Dream of Jenna, and then we're just going to go ahead and get on out of here.
Okay, my book, Walter Dream of Jenna, you know, is online at Amazon and Barnes & Noble if you guys like to buy it and order it. And I also got T-shirts too online, of Walter Dream of Jenna T-shirts, as well as Walter Lamb Production T-shirts as well, and other items too. And I just completed a pilot, and now we're trying to get it out there all over.
Let people know about your book again and about I Dream of Jenna, and then we're just going to go ahead and get on out of here.
Okay, my book, Walter Dream of Jenna, you know, is online at Amazon and Barnes & Noble if you guys like to buy it and order it. And I also got T-shirts too online, of Walter Dream of Jenna T-shirts, as well as Walter Lamb Production T-shirts as well, and other items too. And I just completed a pilot, and now we're trying to get it out there all over nationwide.
So I want to thank Walter so much for being here. I want to thank you guys, because you guys are what keeps me going and what gives me courage and strength to say the things that I need to say. I also want to give a shout out to the Black Professor and Tariq Nasheed. The Black Professor is on YouTube, The Moment of Truth. He actually comes to you with straight black news, and it's not watered down. It's not none of that Fox stuff. It's things that black foundational Americans need to look at and need to really, really listen to. You can actually see a lot of my things on my YouTube channel. I'm going to start venturing out and doing on the scene shows. So, you know, I love you guys so much. You guys are the best. Until next time, stay strong and be strong.